Thanks, Sarah. Now in Iowa news, GOP presidential hopefuls are starting to drop out of the race, narrowing the choices for Iowa voters. State House reporter Skylar Chalal takes a look at who's in and who's out, along with how candidates are preparing ahead of the caucuses.
At this point, and especially after we've seen three of the GOP debates, that if it's not happening for a candidate, it's probably a good idea for that candidate to exit the race.
About 2 months until the Iowa caucuses, and the Republican field is slowly dwindling. After starting the campaign cycle with roughly 14 GOP candidates, we're now down to 8, with Tim Scott and Mike Pence being the latest to suspend their presidential campaign. Among the 8 still in the race, 5 candidates are still somewhat competitive. Former President Donald Trump remains the overwhelming frontrunner, with Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Chris Christie trailing behind by double digits, but all still meeting polling and donor requirements for the last GOP debate.
Trump has a fairly solid base, and they seem to be pretty well locked in at this point, but he's also got sort of a ceiling, and that means that potentially a not Trump candidate could beat him. But the problem for Republicans, or at least for the not Trump people, is that you have more than one candidate, so you're dividing that vote.
As candidates slowly exit the race, others are going all in for the First in the Nation caucuses, with Haley spending $10 million on ads in Iowa and New Hampshire, Ramaswamy dropping $8 million on ads here and moving his campaign headquarters to the Hawkeye state. DeSantis wrapping up a 99-county tour across the state, reserving $2 million in ads, and former President Trump ramping up his presence in Iowa, with more commit to caucus events and millions in advertising.
This is where you often see a fair bit of movement, and we'll see that right up until January 15th, potentially, again, depending how the field shapes up in terms of who's still in, what's happening, if anything significant happens, especially outside events of one sort or another.
In Des Moines, Skylar Chalal reporting.
And now in other Iowa news, an Illinois hunter has died after being shot in the face by another hunter in Iowa Saturday. According to the Iowa Department of Natural Resources, 26-year-old Seth Egelhoff of Chesterfield, Illinois, has been shot while hunting waterfowl in the Bays Branch wildlife area just north of Panora, Iowa. Now, we're told emergency medics rushed Egelhoff to a spot to be picked up by a medical helicopter, but he died en route. Officers currently say the shooting appeared to be accidental.